Stuff like this, I'm always interested in.
Oh, yeah. Ain't no way. As much as I'd like to be stranded there.
And you know, there's so many shipwrecks off the coast of Cornwall. Oh my goodness.
There's probably ghosts everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's beautiful.
Just over a mile off the most westerly point in England sits one of Britain's most exposed lighthouses. The original structure was built in the late 1700s, and it only stood at 12 meters high, which meant it didn't take much for its light to be obscured by rough seas. In 1873, a much taller tower was constructed, this time standing at 35 meters high. And even with this height difference,
and it's amazing
waves
that
would
it's
still regularly
there
crash
from
right over the top.
1873.
The addition of the helipad in 1974 meant that access on and off station was greatly improved. Shortly after, in 1988, Longships was fully automated, which sadly meant that the permanent keepers were withdrawn. After automation, Longships was monitored remotely at a nearby station via telemetry link.
Yeah, I've seen that
However,
one a lot.
these days, all of the stations that I work at are monitored 24/7 at the operating
main monitoring area, I guess.
This visit to Longships is the second instalment of our maintenance schedule. The previous visit, which was 6 months prior to this one, was a full inspection of the lighthouse. This then generates work for the second visit, which can be anything from replacing a door closer on a fire door, calibrating electronic components that are slightly out of specification, or even, if you're really lucky, unclogging the macerator for the toilet with your hands. But fear not, as I didn't bring my hammer with me for that part. One of the main jobs that had to do on this visit was replace the pyrogen canisters for the fire suppression system in the engine room. The unit on the right is the old pyrogen mag canister that was due to expire. The unit above that is the replacement fire suppression generator that we had prepared earlier. Once the expired pyrogen units have been removed, we can then start wiring in the new system. It is then ready for commissioning. With the suppression units disconnected, we simulate a fire by activating 2 heat sensors in series with heat guns.
Sure they're gonna work.
When this lamp illuminates, it signifies that the pyrogen canisters would be firing at this point. And for the final test, we set the fire suppression system off again and test the abort button.
Always good.
Time for some food.
Ooh.
Most of the meals I have whilst working on the lighthouses, I batch cook a few days
Yummy.
before coming offshore. But I still do the odd meal on station, as long as it's quick and easy. After having a shower, it's time to relax in my bunk with a book, or having a gaming session before getting some sleep. The next day, as well as carrying out various other tasks, the lighthouse had a water and fuel delivery. In one of my previous videos, this was a question that came up a lot. How is the fresh water and fuel delivered? Well, hopefully this will answer your question.
I didn't think about that. Fresh water.
Yeah. A lot of people wondered if it was rain catchment or desalinization by reverse osmosis. Most towers,
but there's nobody there all the time, so
bird leavings and fish remains. So water catchment would probably be a bit tangy.
Yeah.
Desalinization has been looked into, but for the amount of use it would get compared to the installation and maintenance costs, it wouldn't really be worth it. With most stations having large water tanks installed, the current setup requires hardly any maintenance at all. Once all of the bags have been dropped off, we connect them to the lighthouse, give it a few pumps, and then let gravity do the rest. Each bag holds approximately 400 litres of water. When it's drained down, it goes into a storage tank in the very bottom of the lighthouse. Then when it's required, it goes through a series of filters and a UV system to make sure it's safe. As part of our inspections, the water is also tested. Now that the station is topped up, we make up a cargo net with the empty bags inside. The helicopter then comes and picks them up and returns to base. We are now on our own until we're due to be picked up in 10 days' time.
10 days.
After the water replen, it was time for lunch and a cup of tea. Also, a good time to catch up on some Matt Armstrong.
First thing before cooking me every day.
We also started getting alerts for bad weather coming our way,
Not cool.
and it seemed like we were going to be right in the middle of it.
Potential gusts of wind into the early evening, 60 to 70 miles an hour. But the region with the amber warning for gusts of wind that could be close to 90 miles an hour is the far west of Cornwall tomorrow evening. Watching this one very carefully. Also the possibility.
Initially, the weather was calm, so we just carried on with our normal work. However, later, we then had to make sure that things were secure and anything that was outside was brought in. The weather started to deteriorate as expected, which caused the aids to navigation to come on. The wind quickly started to pick up, which also caused the sea state to increase. The storm wasn't due to reach its peak until 8 p.m, which is a bit of a shame, as it'll be dark by then. I took the opportunity during the tea break to watch the weather from the lantern.
It always comes in at dark.
And that, like, no railings or anything?
What keeps it from just going?
I know, right?
Looks so tiny.
I'm almost at the very top of the lighthouse, and although the waves don't look it from here, some of them started coming over the top.
No fucking way. I'd be freaking out. No. Not being able to see it.
So hopefully you can hear me. It is absolutely mental outside. The storm is pretty much at its peak at the moment. The wind, well, you can hear the fog signal going off, but the wind is just insane. I've never heard anything like it. And I think that's the thing. Most of it is just the sound of the wind. The sea state isn't as bad as I expected. Before the storm started, there was hardly any swell at all. It was pretty calm outside. So a lot of the swell is just so messy and choppy. It's high tide right now, and we are getting some waves crash over the top.
Even worse.
But definitely not as bad as I've seen. It's more from the wind than anything, but the whole tower is vibrating. There's some crazy noises going outside. I think there's quite a lot of damage that's happened already, so it's going to be really interesting to see what's out there tomorrow. The generator keeps shutting down. The main reason being is the wind is hitting dead on at the exhaust, and it's just choking the generator and it's shutting it down. Thankfully, though, the batteries are fully charged, so if we do lose the generator, we should be okay overnight now. But we want to keep the generator on for as long as possible to keep the batteries topped up, because it's going to be a long night.
When we are not on station, the generator rarely comes on. It's there mainly as a backup for the rare occasions when the solar panels can't quite keep up with the demand, usually in the winter months when daylight hours are reduced and the weather is more unpredictable. However, when we're on station, with the boiler running 24/7, and as well as any other domestic appliances which make living conditions more comfortable, we put quite the demand on the batteries.
They eat
so
good.
The generator runs on quite a bit to keep them topped up.
It's like fire stations.
So just coming down from the tower now. As the deeper in the tower you go, it gets a lot quieter, but you can hear some resonations that are vibrating all the way down through the tower from the helipad, and the sound is pretty eerie. But yeah, I'm just going down to the kitchen now, just seeing what my colleagues are up to. It's quite an experience. Here's the bedroom. Hopefully
Look how small the place is,
going
though.
on outside.
It's like a
You're
finger in the
it's pretty
ocean.
cozy.
What keeps it there? I don't understand.
For the rest of the evening, I mainly just
Red
played
Dead
the
Redemption?
PlayStation.
What's he playing?
I didn't think I'd be
What it
getting
looks
much
like.
sleep that night,
That's what
but
it looks
strangely,
like.
I had the best night's sleep of the whole trip.
Okay. Don't
The
know
next
how.
morning,
Oh, what a pretty
although a steady
morning.
wind still remained, there was little sign from the storm the night before. Although some parts were looking a little worse for wear. Surprisingly, there was nowhere near as much damage as I expected. One helipad section was also punched out by a wave. These are held in by shear pins that give way when a certain amount of force is applied to protect the integrity of the structure. Whilst my colleagues continue with their task inside, myself and another colleague get started on repairing the storm damage.
I would not be doing that. I'm not really afraid of heights, but I'm like, I want a
It'd be
firm
okay.
footing.
I don't. It doesn't really bother me too much. But looking down, don't look down.
Yeah.
Watching that water would make me dizzy. And got annihilated. Damn. I dropped the tool.
Right?
Twing! Damn it.
I'd have to have them tied with strings.
Yeah. Yeah, I drop those stupid things every time I'm putting something together with them. It's like 3 or 4 times.
Right, there we go. After replacing all of the damaged components, we were summoned to the kitchen as our resident celebrity chef had cooked us a roast in the world's smallest oven.
Sunday roast?
Food
Yeah.
is a massive
I
part.
don't like roast.
It's an instant
You would
pick-me-up
like their
after
roast.
a day's work.
Smother everything
and it's
in
even
a
better
rich
As long as it's
gravy.
not stringy. I just don't like stringy gravy.
No. Yeah, they do.
Living
it
in
right
such
over there.
close proximity with your colleagues for
Growing
12 days can be
cheese.
challenging at times, but it's important in this role to get on with them and be adaptable to different personalities. We're just like a dysfunctional family, really.
Just get ready to it?
Yeah, let's jump right in.
All right, well, here's what I would love for your readers to know about our company. We are young.
This trip has been a very busy one. We managed to get lots of jobs ticked off, as well as all the extra work caused by the storm. Unfortunately, I don't get a chance to capture it all and show you every detail, but I try my best when time allows and when I remember to have my camera attached to me. When we finish a trip, we don't have time off like a lot of similar roles. We're straight back to work, whether it's in the depot or at a local base station. I make these videos purely as a hobby, but my main aim is to hopefully inspire other people to get into a similar line of work. It's a job I feel very proud to be a part of.
That's cool.
Oh. So you know how water can penetrate anything, as Bruce Lee would say, be like water. Penetrate
Yeah.
anything. The rock is still there. Been there all
Yeah.
these years. You know, when is that going to erode away?
I don't know. Yeah.
Getting slammed like that all the time.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Well, because out here, Highway 1 collapses all the time when we have a
Yeah.
storm.
Well, and the stores over there, they collapse all the time because they're getting slammed, and so they just drop.
Because I've seen videos
I wouldn't
where
want to get in
people
a
are
helicopter. That would scare me more than
Yeah.
I'd be scared leaving.
where the guys are on the oil rigs.
Yeah, oh god.
And those aren't even attached most of the time.
No.
they're floating, and it's like,
Yeah, that's
I
creepy.
can't.